and welcome to another exciting episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown for the week of September 11th, 2017. I'm Trey. We have some jump to cover, so let's just dive right in. We start off this week with Robot Laserbeam 24. This is a really solid chapter. Again, pretty short, it feels like, compared to a lot of the others, but with the wind acting up, Suzaku having to counter that, he's excited that he's feeling some fear, because Robo's starting to do pretty well. He uses a really good shot called a punch shot, which goes under the wind, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that was the thing. It's pretty nice. And then Robo basically collapses. Then you have, the power of friendship comes in, but instead of just being like, hey, everybody's calling out his name, now he's going to take that impossible shot. It gives him resolve. And so he goes for a punch shot as well, and lasers it into Suzaku's ball. And then does the coolest thing I think I've ever seen Robo do, which is to just yell at the ball to get in. And it does. So with an eagle, AI Academy wins. This is great, despite the fact that it is power of friendship. This is great for multiple reasons. The main one being that Robo has come so far in this arc showing emotion, and then now we just have him going all in. He's beaten down, he's tired, he's exhausted, and then just BAM! Here comes the roar, here comes the call, and his own skills were up to par for him. I don't know what this is going to mean. I kind of still wanted him to lose, so that it would be cemented in Robo's mind that he had to work even harder, but at the same time, this win was not easy for him. And I feel like it could be pretty solid as well. So we shall see there. Next up is the Promised Neverland 54. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Emma, I didn't expect it to be like this, though. Emma punches the guy right in his privates. Right in the place you never want to get punched. He has, like, a mental break, almost, where it seems like he's talking to other people. A guy named Lucas and a guy named John. And then passes out after speaking some of the demon's language and then talking about them, that they're here. Them has arrived, or something like that. And this is really interesting to me, because by the end of the chapter we see the poachers are there. That not that poachers are there, but that there are poachers written on the wall. And also on the wall are all the names of all the other people that I assume he came with, and then just help, like 1,000,000 times in the bottom. It's like, oh, okay, alright, yeah, something happened here. Is this demon poachers that have been poaching on the kids from the farms? Is this humans that are sacrificing them? There's so many different things it could be. I'm really interested to find out. Also, how does he know some of the demon language? Did he overhear it? Has he been picking it up as time passes? Are there maybe some books that can teach the kids the demon language? Like, some really cool stuff going on here. Emma's whole speech about her family is not like the people that came before her, and to see him slowly break as it happens is really good. I still, nothing really bad has happened. We've been calling that something really terrible is going to happen soon, and I'm afraid that there's probably going to be something in this compound, or that has a way into the compound that the kids aren't ready for. It's going to get a couple of them. We haven't really seen much of Anna and Yvette so far in the story, and to have them kind of push the forefront here makes me think that one of the two of them is probably going to die. We shall see, though. Next up is Boruto 16. I'm really not liking these Kara guys. They're pretty sketch, and I kind of hate them. This whole super secret bad guy council thing has been done to death already. It was a very Bleach thing to do. And to have them just, like, hanging out in this super techno, like, hideout where they're using genjutsu holograms to be there? Okay, I guess. And then having one member show his strength by killing another. Like, that's been done so many times. It's not a fun trope. It's an overused trope, and it's really annoying. And then to have Kashin Koji, that's the guy who did the killing, kill off this elder who uses regenerative jutsu, and even his regenerative jutsu can't save him now. It's like, come on, guys. What? Come on. I guess we'll see how they turn out. But meanwhile, Naruto's here, and he's sparring with Boruto, and you find out this whole spar is to test out this new piece of tech that they have developed that allows them to absorb jutsu. It's like, well, that's a really cool idea, especially since, Naruto has a fake arm anyway, and can put it on his fake arm. Why is he sparring with Boruto to test it, though? Wouldn't you want to test this thing against a Jonin and see how it holds up? This could have been a great chance for us to have a fight between, like, Naruto and Kakashi. Or Naruto and Sasuke again. Or Naruto and Shikamaru. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, that Naruto is fighting Boruto just so he can respect his son's strength. It's like, we should have already done that. He's been succeeding at all these different missions. Why is it that when Boruto uses the Shadow Clone Jutsu in the exact same way that Naruto did, Shikamaru is like, oh wow, that's really cool. He used the Shadow Clones to get around behind Naruto. It's like, that's literally what Naruto did all the time. Shikamaru, why are you impressed? But, I don't know, I get the whole fight was to show that Boruto's come a long way, and he's got combination jutsus, and he can hold his own against his dad, but not really, because his dad wasn't really trying. It just, again, it feels a little weird, and I know a lot of people were complaining that, Naruto would use this tool after he threw a fit about Boruto using one. Whole different context. Boruto using one in the middle of a test is absolutely not okay. Naruto using one to test it to make sure it works so they can use it to save lives is a whole different thing. The best example I saw comparing it was like a calculator. Obviously, you don't want to you can't use a calculator during an actual exam, but otherwise you use it all the time. So, yeah, Boruto, just still weird to me. These weird decisions. Within a handful of chapters, we've had an enemy that can regenerate from any damage except for when he can. And granted, our main characters didn't fight him, but that's not the point. We've had an enemy who can reflect any jutsu, and now we have a thing that lets you absorb any jutsu. Alright, well, the power scaling is about to be completely out of hand, because if every ninja in Konoha doesn't have one of these gloves soon, what was the point of making it in the first place? And then, the chapter ends with Konohamaru looking like he's about to fight one of these Kara guys, and that could be cool. The Kara sent an outer to go reclaim the vessel, and they were apparently the inners. I don't know. I'm not digging these Kara guys. Way too many Bleach vibes for my sake. Food Wars 230. So Megumi and Momo get apples, right? This is real bad for Megumi. I'm sure there's going to be a really cool thing that she learned with Shinomiya to help her figure something out. But Momo is about candy. And there are so many ways you can turn apples into candy. It's crazy. But Megumi's not alone, because we get to see a lot more in the flashback with Shinomiya. We find out that Megumi loves a ping-pong shoujo manga, and that Shinomiya sparked that in her when he finally tells her to stop being so nervous all the time and to believe in herself. And she starts calling him Coach. There's a really cool panel of the two of them, basically back-to-back with her holding like a ping-pong paddle. Chapter was pretty short, but it set up a lot of good stuff, and I'm interested to see where it goes in the upcoming chapters with Megumi specifically. I feel like Aldini and Takumi, that is, and Soma are probably both going to win their bouts without too much difficulty. I could be surprised. Takumi might lose, but I really don't see Soma losing before he fights Tsukasa. But Tsubasa? Tsukasa's in Dr. Stone. That's coming up, but that's not here yet. But I would really like to see Megumi pull off a win here. She hasn't gotten a good win in a while. She kind of is owed one. But she's going to have to prove it, of course, because Momo's not an easy opponent. So yeah, pretty solid chapter. My Hero Academia 112. Oh my gosh, this chapter made me cry. Okay. Oh man. I tried not to get too emotional beforehand, which is why I read this chapter right when I got home. Because I saw people saying, you gotta read this chapter, you gotta read this chapter. I read it right when I got home, so that when I recorded this, I would have some time to recover. Oh my gosh, is this a good chapter. It's so powerful, man. So you have Namoto aiming for Eri, because he's figured out Mirio and knows that Mirio is going to defend her no matter what. Mirio takes the shot from the quirk-sealing bullet. You get this beautiful series of flashback panels with all the different things he's been able to do. And then you just get punked. And you know that his career as a hero is over. You get flashbacks of him with his dad. You get flashbacks of him with a Sun Eater and the other girl whose name I can't remember right now because I'm so worked up. You get these beautifully well written and well drawn flashback panels before that thunk, and it just hits so hard that it's over. Overhaul goes in for the kill, and I was like, okay, one of two things is going to happen here. Mirio's going to die, or somebody's going to show up to save him. But Mirio doesn't die. Mirio kicks Chrono's body, and then without a quirk, puts up the fight of his life to protect Eri. He gets Overhaul I don't even know how many times. Without a quirk! Taking who knows how much damage. It's a 2-on-1 fight, basically. Because Nemoto's still up, too, and he's having to constantly protect Eri to make sure she doesn't get shot. And it's just like, oh, man. Overhaul's trying to tell him that, everything he's done's been for nothing because he just threw his career away. And Mirio's like, nothing that he's done's been a waste. He's still Lemillion. And just, oh, man. And then you get that shot of him with the sharpened piece of ground in his side, and a sharp piece of ground in his leg, and you realize he can't run anymore. He can't get around anymore to fight. It's over. Chisaki's about to kill him. And he thinks about everybody that's got him where he is, and he calls out Chisaki's name one last time, just to really drive it home, just to really infuriate him one last time, because it's his last act of defiance. And Overhaul notices that something's happening on one of the walls. And Deku just bursts through. Like, oh my gosh. This is so much better than if Mirio had just died. I take back everything I've said from the last series of chapters leading up to this about how it would help Deku grow, about how it would help Sun Eater grow. No. This is what they need. This is a threat so much worse than death. Because it's not just the character's dead and gone. It's their ability to save people is gone. And then for that immediately to be a threat, and Mirio to prove that that's not true. Get emotional right now. Such a good chapter, man. It's, oh my gosh. I can't even. Oh, man. I always thought Mirio was a cool character, but man, if he didn't jump up the chart, he better be at the top. I'm saying top 5 of the next character poll. Absolutely better be there. If he's not, I'm going to throw a fit. Oh, man. Such a good chapter. And then, of course, next week we're going to have Deku versus Overhaul. And it's not going to be 2-on-2 anymore. Because now if one of those shots get fired at Deku, Mirio's there to take it. Obviously that hurt. And I don't think we'd have 2 quirks taken like that back to back. And it might not be permanent. They say it is. It might not be. But I honestly expect it. I expect this to be the end of the hero Lemillion, and then Mirio goes, this Lemillion's not dead. I'm still Lemillion. It's like, oh man! Oh, we gotta move on. I could just reiterate what I've already said about this chapter forever. This chapter's so good. This is now absolutely my favorite chapter in my hero. I cannot wait for this moment to get animated. I love a character's tragic death, but even more I love it when a character should die, but perseveres and holds on, and somebody else does show up. Because if somebody just shows up right away, then there's no tension. It's like, oh, okay, well, somebody's going to come save them all. It's a Black Clover! But when it's drug out like this, and there's actual loss, and it looks like the character's going to die, then when somebody jumps in to save them, it's absolutely okay, in my opinion. Because you've already had that moment. You've already resigned yourself to the fact that that character's dead. And then the author says, I'm not done with this character yet. And whereas before you're like, oh, what's going to happen? Are they going to be able to make it? And then somebody breaks in and it's like, oh, well, yeah, they're going to make it. Here, I 100% believed he was dead. And it was real good. Real good. So next up's Dr. Stone 26. We want to talk about character death. So that first shot of Gen with Tsukasa in front of all of the stone people, and how Tsukasa tells him that he selected him to live, along with all the others that he's got behind him. Tsukasa is not playing around. He's making an army. And as the strongest guy around, that army's going to work for him. You have Chrome trying to convince Gin, and Gin, saying that he's got to go, he's the world's smoothest talker, haha. And he gets attacked. And it looks like he gets viciously murdered. We find out, of course, that he's not, because he's a mentalist. Not a magician, clearly. Clearly not a magician. He's a mentalist. Absolutely a magician. He had fake blood packets ready. Probably, because I have seen some people throwing a fit about this, he probably had those ready because he thought Senku's people might attack. But that fight was visceral. And I call it a fight, I guess it was a slaughter. Gin got wrecked. And all we've really seen of action in this series before is Tsukasa killing Alliance, and then Tsukasa killing Senku. Which, obviously didn't stick, but we haven't really got to see a lot of really action in this series, and now I'm excited to see more. Because I always assumed this series was going to be more about the politics of it all and the science of it all. But that's some really well done action. That panel of this mysterious attacker killing Gen is very powerful. That's well done. Obviously, there's a lot of guesses to who this could be. This could be Taiju, because he thought that Gen was going to try and kill Senku, and followed him. I doubt that. Could be. This could be an agent Tsukasa has sent to kill Gen, if it looks like he's betrayed him. This could be Magma from the village, having decided that he's one of Senku's guys and needs to die. Senku's got a lot of enemies, and Gen has even more, because he's playing both sides. So then you have this really cool, hushed conversation between Gen and Senku. And Senku goes running back to Tsukasa, because Senku told him he could make him a gold. And it's just a really nice touch, because if you think about it, you could have all the money and wealth and fame in this world where money and wealth and fame don't matter. But if somebody can give you the one thing you do want, which is a taste of home, yeah, you're good. And he already knows Senku can make ramen, even if it's not great ramen. My question is, did Tsukasa send that guy? And if he did, is Tsukasa going to kill him anyway? Because if so, that's a huge shame. Gen Asagiri is a really interesting character and a great addition to the story, because at any time, he could just switch sides. He's playing everybody for himself. And that's an awesome character to have in a situation like this, where you have the really powerful guy and the really smart guy, and then you just have Gen, who's really good at talking. And I love that. I think it's a really cool character type, and I'm afraid that Tsukasa's going to kill him next chapter. Or that we're not going to find out until we do finally get Taiju's side, and then we're going to see Tsukasa kill him. We'll see. Maybe it worked. Maybe Tsukasa believes him and Senku gets some more time. Probably not. Black Clover 124. So this is a weird chapter. Again, this whole arc's been getting a little weird the last couple chapters. Mostly gets shut down by Soul right at the start. Zerx and Asta have a whole bonding moment over taking out Kirsch, and that's pretty cool. Zerx seals him and Asta's sword in the cave, and then Magna comes running for the crystal. The timeline's a little weird here, because if you remember, as soon as Kirsch left, so did Magna and Soul, basically. They were like, we're going to do this ourselves. Soul getting tied up with Mimosa, trying to get her down. Yeah, that makes sense. Did Magna just kind of run around in circles for a while before he went and attacked? Or is it just that the battlefield's that big that it took him that long to find the crystal? I'm hoping that's what it is. Because otherwise, this timeline's real weird. Because by the time Magna gets there, Asta and Zerx are already back from digging the hole, setting the trap, having Kirsch fall into the trap, talking to Kirsch, burying him, caving in the cave, and then getting back to the crystal. That's like 8 things they had to do in the time it took Magna to find the crystal. And it almost felt like it was only that so that Magna and Asta could have this fight. It's like, sure, okay, Magna has evolved his fireball, it can disappear now, that's really cool. It turns out that he's not really making it phase, he's just jumping it from one spot to another. And, Asta figures that out before the chapter's even done, and how to completely block it, for the most part. I say completely, he still misses 1 in 5. But it just was really weird to be like, Magna's so much stronger now! Oh, Asta's already figured it out. I don't know how I feel about that. I really like Soul getting through to Kirsch, both literally and metaphorically. She finds him again, and then she, reminds him what he's fighting for. And I like Asta and Xerx's little collaboration. It seems like they figured each other out pretty well. And then Magna saying that he's going to be the one that wins because he and Luck have to have a fight in the finals. Kirsch showing back up, and then Xerx saying his trap is ready. I worry a little bit about where this arc is going. Because time is starting to not matter as much in how long things take, and character motivations are starting to slide a little bit. What was it, 3 chapters ago? Mimosa said that she wouldn't let anything keep her down because she had to be able to help. And yet here at the start of the chapter, she's shut down just so Asta and Xerx can show off. It's like, okay, why not have her knocked out then, instead of just trapped under dirt? Maybe she's going to come back next chapter. It just feels a little weird. I'm like, if they just wanted this to be the Asta and Xerx hour, then they could have pulled some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We never learned 30. Oh man, the way this chapter starts with figuring out that Ogata did not kiss Yuiga, that she almost did, and then was like, I can't, and backed off. And then to see that over the course of the chapter, she's still super dedicated to the idea of kissing. She moves in, chickens out, moves in, chickens out, moves in, chickens out. And Yuiga closes his eyes at one point on purpose to make her think he's asleep. So that she tries again, then he opens it and is like, yeah? So then, of course, he calls her on. He's like, hey, you can't be doing stuff like this. It's not okay. And she's like, I don't know why I hesitate, and it bothers me. And she asks him if he's weird, and he's like, yeah, maybe. She immediately just stiffens up, and he's like, it makes you cool, and I admire you. And he's like, also, now let me tell you why kissing is sacred, and you shouldn't just be trying to do it. For the rest of the chapter, basically, she is staring at his lips in every frame. And that's a really good dedication, in my opinion. That's a nice touch. Is to let... You don't have to have a character narrate, like with Shikamaru earlier, why something is interesting when you can just show it. And having her staring, and Yuiga, it looks at first like he noticed, and he leans in real close, she gets all bothered, only for him to pull off the cicada out of her hair? Because he'd been talking about the cicada for the last, panel. And it's a really nice touch to have this whole kissing arc is still going, because Ogata doesn't know what she needs to do. And it's a lot better than... don't get me wrong, I love the idea of just sudden, boom, she kissed him. But I feel like this makes more sense for her character, because when it comes to things she doesn't know, she is very timid about it. Even if she wants to be super serious about it. And we get a good look into her character again. We also get to see Yuiga still treat her like a student. And this only, to me, further emphasizes that if he ends up with anybody and it's not a Harriman, it's probably going to be the teacher. Because he kind of treats all of them like they're his students. Because I guess technically they are. And it seems like that bond's very important to him. At the same time, he's also a guy their age and gets a little nervous when she's leaning in all the time. But we're still in the status quo, but we're on the edge of the status quo. And I really like how we never learned to constantly tread that. It doesn't feel like we got a lot of movement on that ground, but we got a lot of more understanding with Ogata's character. And we get to see Yuiga just be like, hey, no, that's not okay. You can't do that. And so many, protagonists are just too afraid of that. They would have just continued doing what he was doing at the start of the chapter. Going, what is she doing? What is she doing? Yeah. No, he realized, he figured it out pretty quick and called her out. And that's great. One Punch Man 73. Oh man, this is a good chapter. I love Suiryu. Have for a while now. But this is also what I love the most about One Punch Man. When people ask me, how can a series about a character that can kill anything in one hit be interesting? This is why. Because the main character is Saitama. Saitama is always going to be the main character. But the story doesn't have to focus on him. It can focus on the other characters that aren't as strong. And then, like we talked about earlier with My Hero Academia, when he does show up, after everything's like destroyed and there's no hope left, it's not a feeling like, oh, well, of course he's going to show up. It's a feeling of, when is he going to show up? Where is he? And then when he does, it's this vast relief that just floods over you. And you see Suiryu being like, you got to go. You can't fight this guy. He's too strong. And then, inside, you're going, oh, just wait, Suiryu. You're about to see. But outside, you're like, yeah, I absolutely understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want Saitama to die like this. Bakuzan, of course, is no threat. Saitama skids away from the first kick so that he can check on the other fighters, and then he just takes everything Bakuzan throws at him. Because he's trying to figure out who he is. And then finally he goes, nah, I don't remember you, and just destroys him. You get this awesome shot of Suiryu being shocked, and the smoke clears, and there's Bakuzan with his upper half just blown away. Saitama shows himself to Suiryu. Who thanks? He didn't tell Suiryu that he entered the competition because he was bored. He doesn't tell him that he wanted the winnings. But Suiryu tells him it's a good thing he didn't fight Goketsu. And then we get this shot of Genos being carried away because Goketsu wrecked him off screen. And he's like being carried back to the lab to be fixed because he got destroyed. And then Suiryu's like, you're going to have to prepare, get all your hero friends together. You gotta be ready to fight Goketsu. And Saitama's just like, which way did he go? Suiryu's like, well, he went that way, but you can't fight him yet, because you gotta be ready. Saitama's like, nah, I'll go. And just goes to fight him. And Suiryu, this is the moment, by the way, when this chapter won me over. Because it was already a great chapter. This is the moment where it reminded me so much of the way the characters felt in the Licenseless Rider versus Sea King fight. Because Suiryu, who is selfish, self-centered, and only cares about himself, reaches out and grabs Saitama's boot and holds it. Because he doesn't want this hero that he's finally seen, a true hero, he doesn't want this hero to die. Suiryu, if you have forgotten, has been beaten down. He's had one of his arms broken. All of his teeth knocked out, basically. He's been grabbed by his hair and swung around like a yo-yo. He's been thrown into the ground and made multiple large impacts. He's seen so many other people fall. And now this guy who was crying out for help, literally crying out for help, grabs Saitama's boot. And it's like, I won't let you die. I can't watch you die. And Saitama just kicks him off. And leaves. You get this awesome shot of Saitama leaving the arena with a giant hole in it that Goketsu made. And then it cuts back to Suiryu. Because again, Saitama's the main character, but he's not the focus of this arc. Suiryu has always been the focus of this arc. And it cuts back to Suiryu, and he's sitting there, and he hears the fight start. And he hears the fight end, almost immediately. And you just see on his face his heart is broken. And then Goketsu's hand lands. And it's just like, oh. Saitama shows back up. And he's like, hey, don't tell anybody I entered the tournament. And Suiryu's like, did he give you any trouble? Was it a tough fight? Saitama's like, I don't know, I killed him in one hit. I punched him and he was dead. It's like, of course you did. Of course you did. That's who you are. That's what you do. And then Suiryu, his character arc has finally reached its pinnacle. And with one last question, he pushes that needle over the edge and completes his character arc. And says, do you think I could be a hero? Saitama's like, I don't know. But I got beat up a lot. and it's normal to be scared of monsters. And then Suiryu just outright asked, "Will you take me on as your disciple?" And Saitama was like, "Absolutely not!" But he refused Genos. So I'm very excited to see Suiryu join the gang, learn how to be a hero, learn how to put others before himself. Just absolutely amazing chapter. Great, great chapter. And then, of course, Saitama is going to go out there and clean up the Monster Association, I assume. The look on his face when he finds out that the monsters have been rampaging through town, he's like, "I'm always late!" Just, it's so good. So we have come to the lightning blitz round of reviews, as always at the end of the show. I really need to come up with a better name for that. Robot Laserbeam 24, pretty good chapter. There was some power friendship going on, but I really enjoyed the way it did resolve. And then, of course, Robo just shouting out that get in, just absolutely. I'm going to go from a middling chapter to a good chapter. Good job. Promised Neverland 54, good chapter. Not a lot, it seems, happened, but we learned so much in a short amount of time, even if not much was said either. The guy that's able to speak the demon language, he talks about his old friends, the poachers, the help. Yes, good chapter, good chapter. One thumb up. Boruto 16, bad chapter. I really disliked Kara and how the first half of the chapter was focused on them, and then how the second half of the chapter was focused on Shikamaru hype-manning up Boruto, who was barely touching his dad, who wasn't even really trying and was just testing a gauntlet. Like, why hype-man him for that? Why not have Naruto fight? I already talked about it. We'll move on. Food Wars 230. Yes, good chapter. It's another setup chapter, but it's a setup chapter that also gives us the Shinomiya coach situation with Megami that I was hoping we would get. And it will give us a lot more insight into his character as well. And he's one of the most interesting characters from the anime, in my opinion, before you get into the manga-only stuff. There's a lot of really interesting characters there. But Shinomiya early on won me over as an interesting character with his desire to, run his own restaurant in a world where so many people are just cooking and fighting and all that. So yeah, good chapter. My Hero Academia 112, 2 thumbs up, hats off. Great chapter. It's absolutely one of the best chapters I've ever written in manga. Read. I don't write manga. I wish I could. One of the best chapters I've ever read in manga. 100%. If you do not read My Hero Academia and you listen to this and it spoiled it for you, read at least this chapter and then please go back to the rest, because this chapter was absolutely worth every single chapter that's led up to this, and will probably be worth the entire story just to get this one chapter. And if it sounds like I'm overhyping it, trust me when I say that this chapter, for me, is one of the best chapters of manga I've ever read. Not even just My Hero, it's one of the best I've ever read. Great chapter. Dr. Stone 26, really solid chapter. This chapter is again still about Gen Asagiri, a character I really enjoyed. The surprise attack that Gen didn't see coming and I didn't see coming. Really, really, really solid chapter. Really, 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 huh? Black Clover 124. I still feel like the timeline stuff really bothers me. Why did it take Magna that long to find the crystal? And then, of course, for Magna to unveil his new power, only for Aston to figure out in the same chapter. I don't know how I feel about that. I like that Kirsch is back in it, but Mimosas are down completely. I don't know. The Aston and Zerg stuff is good. We Never Learned 30, good chapter. Not 2 thumbs up good, but still good. Everything with Ogata and, her leaning in and backing off, and then, of course, the pivotal moment for me, which is when Yuiga calls her out on it. He's like, "What are you doing? Stop." And lectures her. It's like, yeah, it was a pretty good chapter. One Punch Man 73, 2 thumbs up. This, again, it's not as good as the My Hero Academia chapter, but it is the end of the arc of Suiryu. And just seeing that arc from the start to where he got slowly over the course of time to where he finished. Great character, great arc. Really excited to see how he grows in the story from here. That is another episode of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown for this week, the week of September 10th is the week. Yes, September 10th is the week. Issue is September 11th. We will be back next week with another issue of the Weekly Shonen Jump Breakdown. If you guys have any thoughts that you'd like to put in, how you felt about these chapters, please put them in the comment section below, or email them to the fullspectrumpodcast@gmail.com. I absolutely read all of them. Don't always respond to them all, but I read them all. And please, just let us know how you felt about this amazing chapter of My Hero Academia. I mean, this entire issue of Jump. And maybe you guys know something about Boruto I don't. Let me know if there's something I'm missing here. But, until next time, remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Jump.